This is the rags to riches story of how a poor orphan boy whose parents died 4 years apart would go on to establish Maybach, one of the highest luxury car brands of this era. Wilhelm Maybach was the son of a carpenter and a woman known as Louise, born in Heilbronn, Baden-Württemberg in 1846. When Maybach was 8 years old, his family moved from Lowenstein to Stuttgart, where his parents died. Following Maybach's parents' painful demise, his relatives published a notification in the Stuttgarter Anzeiger newspaper detailing Maybach's predicament. From there, Reitwagen, a philanthropic institution, took in Maybach. To help fuel Maybach's technical inclination, Gustav Werner, the institution's director, sent Maybach to the institution's engineering workshop. In 1851, at age 15, Maybach found a direction in industrial designs, taking extra physics and mathematics classes at Reitwagen's public high school. By the time he was 19, Maybach was a qualified designer working on stationary engines. Somehow, Gottlieb Daimler, the workshop's manager, was impressed by Maybach's dedication. Subsequently, Daimler employed Maybach as his main assistant, a position he held until Daimler's death in 1900. In 1869, Daimler, in the company of Maybach, moved to a heavy locomotive manufacturing company called Maschinenbau Gesellschaft Karlsruhe AG in Karlsruhe, where Daimler was an executive. From there, they both moved to the largest manufacturer of stationary gas engines, Gasmotoren Fabrik in Cologne. Daimler, alongside Nikolaus Otto, a part owner of the company, worked on engine development. Maybach subsequently joined the company through Daimler to work as the chief designer. In 1876, Nikolaus Otto patented the Otto cycle engine, a 4-stroke cycle gas internal combustion engine with compression and exhaust strokes. One of Otto's more than 25 patents was overturned, allowing Daimler and Maybach to produce a high-speed engine. Unfortunately, Otto and Daimler had their differences. The disagreement was so bad that Daimler had to leave Deutz AG. Upon leaving, Daimler was compensated with 112,000 gold marks from his Deutz AG shares. Maybach also left the company shortly after Daimler. Later, the duo set up a company with Daimler's Deutz AG shares. The company began to gain its feet in 1883. The duo patented the first engine powered by Legroin. The engine has a speed of around 750 RPMs. By 1884, Daimler had a record of 3 engines to their name. Maybach convinced Daimler to fit the engine in a car, which later resulted in Reitwagen. In 1885, Maybach and Daimler developed their first engines, which will go down in history as the precursor for modern petrol engines. Daimler installed a smaller version of the engine onto a wooden bicycle. This copulation led to the creation of their first motorcycle with a gas, petroleum engine. Maybach drove the motorcycle from Cannstatt to Untertürkheim for testing, reaching 12 kilometers per hour. Subsequently, Maybach supervised the installation of the engine onto an American model coach, and he took it to Untertürkheim for testing, reaching 15 kilometers per hour. Likewise, the engine underwent a water test in 1887. That's not all. The engine was equally tested on air using the first motorized airship designed by Dr. Friedrich Hermann Wolfert. From there on, the duo focused on the production of motorboat engines until the first decade of 1900, and by the late 19th century, Maybach's designs were already dominating the automotive industry. The sale of the motorboat did exceptionally well. In 1887, Daimler bought new land and moved the company to Seelberg Hills, an outskirt of Cannstatt, following the mayor's refusal to let Daimler locate the workshop within the town. Daimler oversaw the commercial aspect of the new company, while Maybach focused more on designs. In 1889, the duo produced the first automobile designed by them from the bottom up, which was launched in Paris in October of 1889. The duo couldn't keep up with the running of the company due to low yields from sales. They employed the services of two financiers, Max von Duttenhofer and William Lorenz. In 1890, Maybach and Daimler co-founded another company they named Daimler Motorengesellschaft, or DMG for short. The company's focus was manufacturing high-speed internal combustion engines for land, water, and air transportation. Subsequently, Maybach was denied a seat as a member of the board of management, which led to his exit from the company on February 11, 1891, to continue his design work at home. Maybach employed 17 more hands to assist him, 5 of whom were paid by Daimler. Maybach got in touch with one of his old contacts, Ferdinand Zeppelin, whom he had met earlier in 1900. Zeppelin was looking to improve the engine of the LZ-1. Maybach collaborated with him to manufacture petrol engines. Zeppelin sold his LZ-3 and LZ-4 to the government. Unfortunately, the LZ-4 exploded while making an emergency landing. After the incident, a donation worth 6.25 million gold marks pushed forward the Zeppelin production. Meanwhile, Maybach was unable to join a new company due to the court case with DMG. In 1909, Maybach founded his own company alongside his son, Karl Maybach, a company that started as a subsidiary of Luftschiffbau Zeppelin GmbH. In 1912, the company adopted the name Maybach Motorenbau GmbH, Maybach Engine Construction Company. Daimler was relieved of his post as the technical director of DMG and resigned in 1883, ruining DMG's prestige. However, Daimler was reabsorbed back into his post when Frederick Sims purchased the right to the Phoenix engine and stabilized the company's finances. He made it a condition that Daimler must be reemployed. In the same vein, Maybach also returned to the company as chief engineer. The company was very active during World War I. They produced a 160 horsepower aircraft engine, which sold 2,000 units before the end of the war. Following this feat, Maybach was awarded an honorary doctorate by the Technical University of Stuttgart. The treaty prohibited the production of airships after the war, so Maybach went back to making high-speed diesel engines for naval and railroad use and petrol engines for automobiles. The majority of automakers in Germany built their engines for cost reasons. Only the Dutch Spyker company was interested in buying Maybach's engines. Dutch Spyker extended a contract to Maybach, which he rejected because he couldn't agree to its conditions. Instead, he chose to build complete automobiles, and Maybach began to produce Maybach limousines in 1921. The first of the models was called Maybach W3. The model sold 300 units, recording outstanding market success, all thanks to its unique features. It has a maximum speed of 105 kilometers per hour, or 65 miles per hour, 4-wheel brakes, and a 6-cylinder engine. The Maybach W5 followed with the top speed increased to 135 kilometers per hour, or 84 miles per hour. The 250 units were sold from the W5 model between 1927 and 1929. The most outstanding of all Maybach creations of the time was the Maybach DS8 ZEPPELIN, a model that would stand as the most powerful of the time, with a top speed of 171 kilometers per hour, or 106 miles per hour. Maybach manufactured a full-blown diesel engine in 1945, and then later moved on to construct a large Daimler-Benz engine after Maybach entered a collaboration with Daimler-Benz. In the late 1960s, Maybach Motor & Bau GmbH became Mercedes-Benz Motor & Bau GmbH, and Daimler-Benz owned 83%. Actors Ulrich Schmid-Maybach and Nick Faldo were employed as brand ambassadors to debut for models 57 and 62. However, due to the financial crisis of 2007 and 2008, low sales were recorded. Maybach became a Mercedes brand sub-brand in 2015. In 2011, Dieter Zech, the CEO of Daimler, announced that Maybach would be discontinued in 2012 to give room for the new Mercedes-Benz S-Class cars. In November of 2014, the Maybach returned as a sub-brand of the Mercedes-Benz S-Class W22. Following Maybach's revival, Mercedes-Maybach S600 was unveiled in Los Angeles, California, and Guangzhou. Although now a subsidiary of Benz, Maybach hasn't lost its touch. That's all for today, guys. You can drop your comments in the comments section. Don't forget to like this video and thumb on the bell icon to subscribe to this channel.